Set and Osiris, they'll tell you they was brother and sister and they was also married. They was practicing incest and Kemet. But what we don't know is, we learned, based on an ancient African archetype of conception, that the smallest thing you could break a thing down into is two. And so, off that principle, throughout Africa, most of them shared the same phonetics for the word twin, which is also the word couple, which is also the word brother and sister, which is also the word for husband and wife. So one person interprets the meaning, is, oh, this is a brother and sister. And another person interprets the meaning, sees the same word, that's a husband and wife. So now we got husband and wife or brother and sister. Throughout Africa, we keep seeing that terminology. Because we understood that a man isn't complete unless he has his female counterpart. So she's always your twin, inevitably. Because you can't be whole without her. So this is the African archetype of conception. But people who are very low frequency, very low vibration, they try to interpret meaning of what we put forth, and they vandalize it. So now we're going to go back into the language. The language is very important before we can go here, because the language is part of what you have to digest. The language is a form of food. So why are things working for everybody except for us? Well, when I see you, I might say, what's cracking? Sound like something broke. Might say, what's popping? And if you walk in and you feel something pop, trust me, you won't be smiling. What up, my nigga? Last time we heard that some hundreds of years, it was a slave master. So we say, what up, my nigga? What's cracking and what's popping? The rest of the world say, shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. So we're like, hold on. There's whole communities. When they see each other, the first thing they invoke is peace. Whole communities, when they have a first impression on each other, they wish each other peace. And they seem to be more successful. You know how important first impressions are. And when we leave, the next time I see you, we're going to go through another first impression. So if my first impression to you is my nigga, I may be trying to enslave you subconsciously. You may say, come on, right? And I know in ancient times the word nigga denotes a title and nobility of a sovereign. I know that, right? Most immediately is white man. So now we're in conflict. Is Jesus black or is he white? Does nigga mean sovereign? Does it mean idiot or nigga and stupid? Like, you know, we always got to deal with the dichotomy. But walk with me on this. So I greet you and you're my nigga. Or something's cracking. Or something's popping. Or matter of fact, good morning. And when has morning ever been good? Whenever we're mourning, we mourn because we're missing somebody who probably died. So how could morning be good? Oh, we say hello, and hell is low. And we've been taught that hell is a very bad thing. You know, people like, I don't know. Then we can start singing, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. We all learned about 666. We can do that because E is A, B, C, D, E, fifth letter. I, Roman numerals, 1. E, I is 6. E, I is 6. O is the 15th letter in the alphabet. 1 plus 5 is 6. So E, I 6, E, I 6, O 6, 6, 6, 6. I thought they just made it up at random. Yeah. But Old MacDonald had a farm. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. That's what we're singing. But it's subconscious. Subconsciously, you made the calculation already. That's the part that's very hard to tell our people, that your brain is a supercomputer. So whether you realize it or not, if you learned anything about Roman numerals any time in your life, even if it was once, your brain is doing the calculation when you say E-I-E-I-O, whether you realize it or not. It's just something that's going to take place, with or without you. That's what consciousness is about. It's going to happen with or without you. Your brain is constantly collecting data and making calculations with or without you. So that's a whole different form of warfare. If someone understands, all I gotta do is teach you something once and it's gonna affect you for the rest of your life, with or without you, with or without your consciousness. So then we're like, oh man, so there's codes taking place. Yeah, like rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. Yeah, let's put my baby on the treetop. And let's wait for the wind to blow, for the cradle to rock. Child services will be right at my door. But you learn to sing these songs at such a very young age. It's preparing you to be the type of parent you will be when you become an adult. Now I got a decayed tooth. Great idea. Let's put a decayed tooth under the pillow. And some of us soak it in milk, whatever the hell that means. You wasn't even drinking milk when you had the shit in your mouth. Now you want to preserve the bone. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, but we practice these weird things. But it's okay, so we go back to language. And we understand now that there are genes like the SPM gene that causes your brain to grow when you speak in tones. And now we understand why the necessity for the pastor to include tones in the English language when he's trying to raise your spirit. Because he won't just say Jesus, he has to add tones that don't exist in the language. So he has to say Jesus. He just added one of the H's from Hebrew in it. Because he can't revive you, he can't resonate with you if he just speaks English. So he has to incorporate tones from other languages to stimulate you. And he has to get the horns to play, and someone on the trumpet, and some homosexual on the piano, and everybody's going crazy. Then you gotta have the big boobed, heavyset woman going down the aisle, and 3 people gotta stop her from running into the wall. And everybody done worked up a sweat and said, can't wait till next Sunday. But all the while, they messing with your emotions. There's a whole lot of stuff going on there, so you won't get smart up in there and realize, oh, hey, why are you using tones that don't... No, you won't be able to realize that. Because there's going to be a lot of other stuff going on in there that your brain is making calculations on, whether you realize it or not. And your mind is saying, this is nuts. But you're here for the ride. It's like a baseball game. Holy Spirit. If someone does this, and everybody got to do the wave. That's how everybody feels. You start feeling guilty. Shit, why am I the devil? How come everybody else got this shit? It started to go down the line. It went down like 15 seats. You see 16? Nigga, I'm gonna get the spirit too. Fuck it. I'll be damned if everybody starts staring at me like why I didn't get the chicken wings. Yeah, of course you're gonna feel like that. 15 people waiting out down the line in the name of God, and you just gonna sit there and pretend like you ain't getting the spirit? Come on, you know that. You gotta participate in that. And everybody's gonna look at you with the evil eye. They be telling their children, look, that nigga didn't get the spirit. You wanna be like him? He ain't feel a damn thing, this whole church rocking. He the only one sitting there like that. Who wants to have that kind of energy? That burning eye on them? Yeah, so we've been compelled to be ignorant because it's the trend, it's the fad. It's the fad. You know, when we were young, if we was mumbling, our parents would say, speak up, speak clear. That shit can make it go platinum and rap. You just mumble. Nobody even gotta know what you're saying. It's just weird stuff going on today. Like, who knew I was onto something when I was young and mumbling? Who knew? Now they done killed my whole hip-hop career. So had they let me master my mumbling, I could have sold some albums today. They had to teach me how to enunciate my words. Silly ass parents. This is what we dealing with today. So we went from speaking in tones to speaking in tongues to making music mumbling. Look how that whole thing worked. Look at the transition of culture. Speaking in tones, speaking in tongues, and now we mumble. It's the most amazing thing to see a group of young brothers and sisters dancing to mumble music, and when you're like, yo, what they said? Hey! I'm like, because you know, you start tripping, like, they understand it. No, they don't. I used to think they understood it too, so I started acting around. What the hell is designer saying? He's the most clear one you can hear amongst the rest of them. He's the one that you actually can come up with an interpretation. The other ones mastered that shit. Now this is some silly stuff when you can get away with not using real words. People are like, yo, but it go with the beat. I can make mumble go with the beat any day. You don't have to use words to make it go with the beat. amazing people we are. We make the whole world mumble right after that. Right after that, the whole world is mumbling. White folks are mumbling all over the world. They're giving up all the hard work of slavery to have an upper hand on us as far as education is concerned. They had an upper hand, and they're throwing all of that away to mumble with us. Their ancestors worked long and hard to get that head start, only to see their children today mumbling with black people. So what do we do now? So I wanted to speak about that because when you give up your language, you give up your consciousness. And people always talk about being sovereign, but you can't be sovereign unless you have autonomy over something. And in this particular case, you want autonomy over your tongue. Language transmission. There's just things that's going to transpire in your community that no one else is going to understand. Like us. 1,000 years from now, if you wasn't part of our culture and connected to us by blood and ate what we ate and drank what we drank, you wouldn't know what the heck we was talking about. And I got to get my chicken up. We know he's talking about money. I got to get this bread. He's talking about money. But when they study the manuscripts and start translating our rhymes, and they see chicken and bread, they're going to get hungry. They're not even going to think about money. They don't think these black people love chicken and bread. Their whole word is, I got to get my chicken up. They throw the chicken in the air, apparently. There's going to be some white folks translating, making shit up as they go. The Negroes of Canada was all about getting their chicken up. Yeah, it must be a ritual sacrifice amongst the native niggers of Canada. Like, I'm telling you. So it's about syntax. It's something that we share with each other. Exclusive from the rest of the world. Syntax. And when people take that from you, and the only way you can communicate amongst each other is if someone else